Alright, we are back again. Took a little bit longer than expected, but made it back. Hold on one moment. we're gonna experiment a little bit. Just bear with me. Interesting. Oh, there we go.
Am I insane? I wouldn't necessarily say I'm crazy, simply because I've heard the voices and battled the godless things in the woods. But I must be crazy to believe. It all started with that damn book, the Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Roughly translated, the Book of the Dead. Inked in human blood and bound in flesh. The book contained bizarre burial rites, prophecies, and demon resurrection passages. Professor Raymond Noby unearthed the book and brought it to this remote cabin where he could translate it. He awoke something dark in the woods, something evil. It got the professor. Then, it came for me.
Alright. So let's actually try that again. Configure the resolution. That should be fine. See if I can get another game capture. Exit out of that. Seems odd. For those that are just joining, I'm checking out something as far as trying to see if my OBS will allow me to play some of the older games. So far, kind of seems like it doesn't really play well. At least not yet. Let's see if this works. No picture. Alright, looks like something I may have to toy with a little bit later. Yeah, I'm back in it. Hey, Devin, I didn't even see you sneak in. What's going on, Paris? Grab one of my drinks. Stop yawning, you're gonna make me sleepy.
I can't help it.
Gosh.
I took my birthday medicine.
Man. It's trying to make me sleepy. That's a damaged box. That sounds awesome, Paris. What kind of ass merch do you got? Like props or anything? Clothing? Figures?
Groovy.
Like I know I have a couple of Evil Dead things. Like two little, what'd you call them? Keychains?
Yeah.
A little Ash keychain and a Deadite keychain. Like almost like a little tiny plushie. I got Necronomicon that came with the DVD for Evil Dead 1. Although probably at some point I'll upgrade to the actual Necronomicon once Trick or Treat Studios releases theirs. As of right now, that's the only things I got of Evil Dead. As far as actual items. Oh, that sounds awesome, Paris. Did you have any like a page with pictures to actually be able to see them. Which, Devin, I think there are some makers out there, cosplay wise, that can make that for you. Where your hand just like goes in there. Ooh. Oh, feel free to drop me a link on my Facebook, Paris. Which the link for that should be in the description of this video. So I can actually check it out. Like as I say, like I'm always interested in looking at any of that type of stuff. Considering I do the whole cosplay thing as well. Alright, what's going on? Did we hit like a bad spot here with people not playing or what? Nice. I have to check you out. Man, this seems to be taking forever to find a game. Oh, no worries, Paris. I could do a Ash versus Zombie Jason, I would probably want to do it almost kind of like how Evil Dead did in the first one. Have Ash like trapped in the cabin with Jason trying to make his way in. Just to make it a little bit more scary to have that fear factor. But now Ash is mostly synonymous with being comical. So you would kind of have to go almost in a slapstick kind of route with it. Nice Paris. I'll check them out, especially once I get off here. Alright, so we already know who we're going against now. Ash versus Michael Myers. You can share anything on my page or anything like that. Like PM, DM, on my wall, on any of my pages, it's all fine. I'm not necessarily one of those people that's going to get bent out of shape if you give yourself a plug, so to speak. Michael would definitely kill Ash. Ash is a character that benefits greatly from having villains like Deadites that tend to play around with their victims. Like if they were a little bit more to the point in how they go about their kills, Ash would have been dead a while ago. Oh wow, he killed himself. That means this Michael must have been camping him and he didn't feel like playing anymore. Man, he got fed. No way he could have camped him if he was all the way there. Dying light. Killing these great skill checks. Let's hope we keep that up once we come across Hextron. Trying to listen for the mask breathing. Ooh, and no Ed. That's a extremely tough sell. Yep, just go. Ash versus the Joker. I think Ash would win that because the Joker's whole shtick is based on trying to get you to kill him. Trying to see what he can do to you to get you to kill him. And Ash, I think, would kill the Joker. Yeah, go ahead, Paris. It's actually a really good question, Paris, which one that I actually toyed with before. My theory is that it had a lot to do with Ash going back in time. Sort of almost I would want to say it's like a Terminator kind of thing, that Ash went back in time and he had sex with Sheila. Now obviously we don't know what may have spawned from that, but Ash may be similar to, if you've seen the Futurama episode where Fry goes back in time and has sex with his grandmother, and pretty much he furthers his bloodline like that. Let's just say. Like, I think when Ash went back and had sex with Sheila, she likely got pregnant from it, creating maybe a bloodline that the Dark Ones may have been keeping an eye on. And maybe even realizing to an extent that Ash may have incidentally created himself incestually. And with that, like, the way his bloodline is because of that, it had the adverse effect of once he got possessed with Evil Ash, or the Deadite version of himself, his body had a natural rejection to it that not any other human really has shown. But I think the whole point is if he would have never went back in time in Army of Darkness, then he likely would have never became the Chosen One because of that. At least it was a theory I was kicking around. I didn't put a whole lot of detail to it because, I mean, it's extremely out there. Oh shit! I came looking for trouble on that one. Oh! That was a really good hit. Yeah, exactly, Paris. If I could make an Evil Dead game, I would make a game similar to Deceit, where pretty much you have everyone in the Nobi cabin map, and one person is possessed. And you don't know who's possessed, and the goal is to either kill or possess other people. Like, the other survivors could be trying to find pages of the Necronomicon, or looking for the shotgun, like shells or even parts. Exactly, Paris. And it would kind of fit with Ash's personality to be somewhat like that. Especially when you start looking at Ash versus the Evil Dead. Ah, she saw me. Yeah, I was desperately looking for that totem I saw earlier, and I greatly paid for that. I could make an Evil Dead that took place after Ash versus the Evil Dead. What would it be like? I mean, because the way Ash versus the Evil Dead ended with him in the future, it kind of went more into a supernatural sci-fi kind of thing. And for me, if I was to make an Evil Dead, I would want to get it back to what it was before that. Maybe not going back to the Nobi cabin, since we've been there quite a few times now since the show. But I would want to bring the horror element back to it. Maybe not as stylized and super polished as the remake was, but I would want to kind of bring it back to how the first Evil Dead was. You can have some elements of like comedic moments in there, but likely if you were going to make one, Bruce Campbell likely wouldn't be in that one. Or if he was, then you obviously have to keep the tone of Ash versus Evil Dead and move forward with that, making it sort of a dark comedy or horror comedy kind of movie. But I want to see an Evil Dead that's strictly horror set within that world. Now, the question I have is, when Ash went back in time to 1982, and he ended up going to the Nobi cabin, and it resulted in the cabin being, I believe, destroyed. Meaning that Ash and his friends never went to the cabin, which means Evil Dead 1 never happened, let alone Evil Dead 2, and possibly even Army of Darkness. So the moment that takes place, shouldn't everything after that change? I believe, Devin, there is a video out there, Batman Dead End, that actually could be a bit of the answer that you're looking for. I think when Batman fights the Xenomorph, he's almost killed. The Predator kills the Xenomorph, but then Batman fights the Predator and barely survives, but does beat him. See, that's what I'm thinking too, Paris, but I'm also thinking what happened was when Ash destroyed that, like his whole fight with Ball, when the cabin got destroyed and burned down to the ground and all that, I think a second book reached that alternate universe. And pretty much what should have ended up happening was they should have built the cabin over the ruins of the old one. And that's how the remake takes place. And pretty much the new Book of the Dead, or however you want, because I don't even think in the remake they call it the Necronomicon. It's just a book. Like, I don't think they have anything that really says what it is. let alone it actually being Kandarian demons. Because, yeah, they don't even have the dagger in the remake. So you can make an argument that that book isn't the Necronomicon at all. But pretty much I would say that the location where the Nobi cabin was, that should be where the remake happens. It's just Ash went into that alternate universe, burned down the Nobi cabin, and now a new cabin should sit in its place, and that's where the remake happens. At least that'd be my kind of way of tying everything together. If not right there, then maybe a couple 100 yards down from it. But in that general vicinity. If I were to change the ending of Ash versus the Evil Dead, I would have wanted to go. I think it was a ending that they had planned for season 2, where Ash was thrown back in time, and he's thrown in the woods just as his younger self is coming to the Nobi cabin, and the events of Evil Dead 1 take place. I would have liked to have seen that happen. Ash interact with a younger version of himself, and the way you could end the season, if you were going to leave a cliffhanger going forward, then you could have either the old Ash die, or you could have the younger Ash die, and changing all of history from there on out, where the older Ash could be a paradox, like he survives outside of time, he's unaffected by everything due to him being the chosen one, but everything else gets affected and you can't fix it. Almost like an Evil Dead flashpoint. Exactly, Pears. Mindfuck would be the term.
All right.
Oh, shit. There you go, Paris. Since we were talking about cosplays, that was something I recently posted on my Instagram of my Michael Myers while setting up my photography kind of setup. Still need more space in the room, but get the idea of pretty much what I was going for on there. Honestly, Devin, if I was to kill Batman, I would have probably have done it similar to how they did before Endgame. Or no, after Endgame. Sorry. Where him and the Joker both die together. I believe in a cave where it essentially collapses on him. See me? Okay, he didn't see me. We're all good. They definitely did great with the mask. Like, I rehauled one, and to me it looked good. With this one, I didn't touch because I do like the paint job that was already on it. It's, if you have it straight up in the light, the yellowing is very prominent. But once you light it the way I did, it looks just like the movie. So it's all about lighting. This clown is not playing around. Must have saw that new Joaquin Phoenix Joker poster. Oh shit, I'm like hitting walls and shit. Yeah, I can't wait to get my Dark Side Studios Jason hood. That should be a great addition to pretty much what I feel like is already a pretty good Part 3 rendition of the costume. And I got a few Batman costume items coming. Oh shit. You gave away our position! Really? Ah, he got me. I mean, you could go that route, Devin, with killing them that way, but I mean, Two-Face, he's a good way to go out, but you would have to write a story that really, really gets you emotionally invested in their relationship prior to him becoming Two-Face. Oh yeah, this is a party. Oh yeah. Hey, where's that third ash at? Oh. Well, that's not someone I wanted to run into. Oh, no, Ed. I knew it. I'm running! I'm running! Oh, that unbreakable in the clutch! Sadly, there was no saving the other guy. An Ash threesome? Yes. And any and every medium possible. It could be the alternate Ashes. Save the best for last. Bamboozle, Noed, and Nurse's Calling. I guess it's a good thing I didn't stick around and try to heal. I might actually switch to that. Medal of Man. Hello, Gabriel and Jocelyn. How you guys doing? While we're waiting for a game, pull up some, oh shit. Of course it goes quick like that.
Groovy.
There you go. Somewhat of a fuzzy picture of my current Part 3 Jason, which I am currently now upgrading the hood to a deeper down the chest and shoulder area in the back, so that way I can turn my head, or at least attempt to, without it coming up out of the shirt. Oh, no problem. I didn't know if it was two people watching or just one, so I didn't want anybody to feel left out. It's you, you handsome devil. I'm going with that guy in front of me because there's just something about him that seems so heroic. Can't put my finger on it. Oh shit! Oh god! I heard nothing at all. Yeah, it might be the jawline. Keep him busy. Didn't keep him busy long enough. Sometimes players, people creep in and out, say a couple of words and then go. Then pretty much you got Death, Ghost Jason, and pretty much a few others that tend to stay. I mean, even with just one, I'm good with it. She's on my ass. Yeah, she was on me. Yeah, unless you got a flashlight, it ain't helping. This is game over, Frag. Yeah, she was in love with Ash on that one. Think I might make this my last game for the night. I mean, overall, what, like 4 hours streaming today? 4 or 5 hours total, if you count the other streams for the day. Then I'm gonna pop in some of these Blu-rays I just bought while I was at Walmart getting some soda. Ended up going out getting the 8-pack for the Friday the 13th Blu-rays. Apparently there's some extras on there and commentaries that I don't believe I've ever heard before. So I'm going to be checking those out.
Look who's shitting in the tall grass.
And then pretty much, of course, I'll be back on tomorrow around like 11:30, 12 o'clock. My normal time. Once I get home from work, settled in, eat a little bit, and I'll be good to go. I mean, the Blu-rays actually, the 8-pack wasn't as expensive as I would have thought they would have been. Like, I was expecting something along the lines like $60, $70, but it was only, I think, under 30. I was like, you can't beat that, so of course I have to get the Blu-rays. I mean, I have the DVDs, but why not get the Blu-rays?
Groovy.
The player itself, I mean, do you have any the consoles like Xbox One or PS4 or anything like that? I mean, if you got one of them, then obviously you can play Blu-rays on those. I believe you might be able to get a player maybe around at this time like a cheap one, like $50, $50 to $75. Like, which console do you got, Paris? Or are you talking about a Blu-ray player itself? Because there should be, if you have a smartphone, you should be able to get an app through whatever store, like Google Play or iPhone, like, you know, whatever store they have. 360. I don't think 360s play Blu-rays, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, 360s, when the technology came out for Blu-rays, they kind of went the other way. They went for HD DVDs instead of the Blu-ray technology, and I think PlayStation 3, was it, went with the Blu-ray technology. And then right after the 360 came out, the HD DVD market just plummeted and everything went to Blu-ray. Yeah, like whenever you lose remote control, always try the app, because a lot of those things you'll be able to almost turn your phone into a universal remote control. Everybody wants a piece of ash tonight. But yeah, you should be able to get a player cheat. Especially because that technology's been out for a while now. Or just like pretty much invest all in one and get yourself like a Xbox One or PS4. So I mean, those kind of consoles are definitely worth the investment just because it's an all-around entertainment system. It's not just video games and all of that. Like you can literally use it as your internet browser. You're pretty much watching YouTube, all the apps that you would normally go to on a computer, and you can hook your cable box up to it and watch cable through that alone. Which side you coming out from? I mean, I don't doubt that at some point you're going to see a resurgence in VCRs. Because you look at Nightmare Toys, they sell VHSs still. And there's something about a VHS tape that holds so much nostalgia that I doubt that they're ever going to fully go away. And I mean, especially now, because you can get Xboxes pretty cheap. Like, I mean, me alone, in my household, we have 4 Xboxes. Shit, we were close to it. Hey, Kenobi, what's going on? We want to try to get it. You can shut that door. Wow. You go do that. I'll go get the door. I think the higher levels make it where there, go ahead. The higher levels, I believe, make it where you can the radius of where the killer should be able to see your aura is far lower. Come on, people. A nurse with no it is not ideal. Like, where the fuck would Noed be? Alright, these people are going to slowly get picked off. I'm just going to take my points and run. Yeah, like usually with NOED, I tend to get a little apprehensive of like any kind of rescue just for that reason alone. Because all the nurse is doing is just trying to bait the men. There's quite literally no point of a rescue unless you have gotten NOED. For that reason right there. Turn right. Oh, he's looking for the hatch. Hey Brian, what's going on? Had a rough day. Sorry to hear that. She wants him to escape. Guess she figured Ash left. She's got nothing else to really live for. I just don't think he's getting the hints. Oh, definitely. Anything Ash always makes it better. Yeah, you can't blame her for that. I mean, if I was playing as killer, I'd probably do the same. Yeah, he's got the hand Pablo built. He also comes with Ashy Slashy. And let me pull that up real quick. Yeah, he's got Ashy Slashy. Oh, just let me get that toolbox off of him. There we go. There we go. Ashy Slashy, the wooden hand that he started the series with, and 2 different versions of Pablo's hand. The shirt, I guess you could say, he's got the value stop vest that we see in season 1, and the Hawaiian shirt that we see in I think it's season 2, the beginning. Then 2 different colors of brown pants and shorts and sandals to go with the Hawaiian shirt. When it comes to Bruce Campbell, there's nowhere near enough chin. And it's funny because when you got the wooden hand on, the hand doesn't move at all. Like, it just stays stiff. Alright guys, like I said, I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end this stream here for the night. I'm going to be back on probably my normal time around 11:30, 12 o'clock or so. Streaming for about like 2-3 hours. Still getting Ash to level 50. As you see, we got him to 29 today. This isn't bad after, what, 3 separate streams today? Going from level 1 all the way to 29. But yeah, like, thank you guys for sticking around, or even if you're just joining, like Brian, Paris, thanks for sticking around and chatting. Anybody that just subscribed, thank you for doing so. If you haven't done so already, let me pull that up real quick. Oh, well, that just looks quite disturbing. There we go. Alright, so feel free to hit the notification to be alerted whenever I go back on the stream, especially if it's a day like today where we were rudely interrupted because someone unplugged the laptop.
Again, so sorry.
And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream. You have a good night as well, Paris. See you next time, Kenobi. See you, Brian. And for those that didn't make it to this stream, like Death and Ghost Jason and Devin, if you're still around, thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.